Ransomware attacks are evolving. Active Directory is the control plane of your IT environment, governing users, permissions, and access to systems and data. Once attackers gain control over it, they can move freely across your network, escalate privileges, exfiltrate data, and encrypt systems. That's why Active Directory is the prime target in every ransomware attack, and defending it is key to stopping ransomware before it causes irreversible damage. But every attack follows a pattern, the 7-stage kill chain. They are Stage 1 reconnaissance, Stage 2 delivery, Stage 3 exploitation, Stage 4 privilege escalation and lateral movement, Stage 5 data exfiltration, Stage 6 encryption, and Stage 7 extortion and ransom demand. Breaking the kill chain at Stage 4, privilege escalation and lateral movement, is critical. Cyber attackers start to access your Active Directory from the internet. In the first scenario, a bad actor gains access to the network using valid credentials. They attempt to reach the domain controller and escalate privileges by creating an admin account. Access is restricted to a read-only domain controller, enforced and filtered by Certes DPRM. Since write access is blocked, the attacker is unable to escalate privileges or compromise Active Directory. Certes DPRM effectively stops the attack at this point. In the second scenario, a bad actor attempts a pass-the-hash attack by using stolen user credentials to access the network. All traffic from the domain controller is routed through the Certes Enforcement Point, or CEP, which not only validates the credentials, but also verifies the source and context of the request. Since this authentication attempt originates from an untrusted location, the CEP identifies it as suspicious and automatically denies access, effectively blocking the attack. In the third scenario, a bad actor exploits a zero-day vulnerability to breach the firewall and bypasses the access rules that would typically restrict them to a read-only domain controller. Instead, they reach the writable domain controller, a critical asset. Once inside, the attacker attempts to exfiltrate the domain controller database to an external location to harvest valid credentials and continue their attack. All traffic from the domain controller is routed through the CEP, which enforces quantum-safe encryption. The attacker doesn't even know the CEP exists. It operates invisibly within the network, silently protecting the data. As a result, the stolen database is encrypted with quantum-level cryptography, rendering it unreadable and useless to the attacker, effectively neutralizing the exfiltration attempt. In this fourth scenario, a bad actor attempts to access the disaster recovery environment. Certes DPRM enforces strict customer-controlled policy rules, not just on what data flows are allowed, but also on the direction in which they are permitted to travel. This directional enforcement prevents access from the DR site back to the writable domain controller, effectively cutting off lateral movement. Additionally, Certes enables customers to create a virtual air gap, a policy that renders the DR site completely invisible and unreachable until explicitly made available. In short, you can't attack what you can't see. Since the attacker cannot alter these policies or initiate communication, the attempted breach is fully blocked. Certes DPRM ensures only authorized quantum-secure access to your Active Directory. Attackers are blocked at every step, often without even realizing what stopped them. The Certes Enforcement Point remains invisible within the network, adding a silent layer of defense that attackers can neither see nor bypass. A breach can cost millions. Certes prevents it economically, securely, and proactively.